Okay, good evening, everyone. So, last session we discussed all the HTML part. So, what you need to know in HTML we discussed. Now, today we will start learning and understanding detailedly about styles in HTML. So, actual the concept we call it as styles. Generally, the concept of styles and how they work. Usually, CSS is a part of styles. It is a concept of styles. So, actual concept, we call it as styles. Generally, what are styles and why you need styles? So, HTML is having attributes. For elements, HTML have some important attributes. Those attributes are not enough for making the presentation better. We need some extra attributes, some additional attributes. So, for example, suppose we are having some element like table. So, this table is not enough to present a table in a good way. Then, what are the attributes we have for table? Table have attribute like border. Table have attribute like rules. Table have attribute like cell spacing, like that. So many are there. But these attributes are not enough to reach our requirement. For example, how to change border color? We don't have an option. We have an attribute for border, but we don't have an attribute for changing the color of border. So we have attributes, but they are not enough. Then to make them more interactive and responsive, we need some additional attributes. Those additional attributes are nothing but styles. Styles are additional attributes defined for HTML elements to make them more interactive and responsive. In general, people directly use the word CSS, but actual original concept is what? Styles. So, what is styles is styles provide a set of attributes to make HTML more interactive and responsive. Styles provide a set of attributes to make HTML more interactive and responsive. So, generally, what happens is these attributes, for example, we have the concept like color is an attribute, width is an attribute, and padding is an attribute. These are attributes. These attributes have some values. Values are defined with a colon. Color, colon, its color name. Width, colon, some width. Padding, colon, some padding name. That is an attribute and an value. And now tell me, these attributes belong to, that means these attributes belong to styles actually. These are style attributes. These attributes are collected together and kept in one unit. That means we collect these attributes and put it in one container. These attributes we collect and put in one container, one blocks. For example, now width is 300 pixel, padding is 20 pixel, color is red. All these three belong to one element. Then we have to keep them in one block. Creating a block and keeping all attributes in that block, this mechanism is called refactor. We call that mechanism as refactor. Refactoring means in computer programming, collecting some set of lines and keeping them in one block so that we can reuse it from anywhere you want. This is actually refactoring the attributes and values, and this is considered as an object. So object is a collection of related data and logic. In computer programming, object is a collection of related data and logic. That means related data and logic are kept in one place. Then we call it as an object. Actually, this concept of object was invented in 1960s by Alan Kay. He developed it. Generally, people who know little bit here and there programming, YouTube websites knowledge, they think that object belongs to OOP concept, object oriented programming. But object was there before OOP was born. Before OOP concept came, there is a concept called object. Object's intention is to keep all the related data and logic together. So style is an object which can make HTML elements effective, attractive. So what are styles? Styles provide objects. Actually, they provide attributes. Attributes are used as an object. All the attributes are kept in one unit. And that is what we call it as an object. So style is going to design an object. Through that object, it can make HTML more interactive. And usually object contains all the attributes which are required to make them effective, interactive, responsive. That is the point. So actually, style uses an object to refactor the code, to refactor the code, to refactor the code. Object contains relative data and logic. It contains relative data and logic. So style objects are used to make HTML interactive. That is the concept. So style is a collection of attributes. These attributes are kept together as an object, and that object is applied to HTML to make that attractive. So in how many ways we can use these styles? So actually styles can be defined for HTML elements in three ways. So we have inline styles, we have embedded styles, and we have external style sheets. We have external style sheets. So we have three ways of defining styles for HTML elements. Three techniques are there: inline, embedded, and external style sheet. So inline styles, embedded styles, external style sheets. So what is difference is actual what is the concept and which one where we use here is inline styles means the style object is defined for every element individually using style attribute. Style object is defined for every element individually using style attribute. Using style attribute. So it is faster in rendering. It is faster in rendering. It is going to render fast. It is faster in rendering. However, one problem with this is it is not good for reusability. It is not good for reusability. Inline styles are good for elements which need styles, but they are not repeated. If only one time, one effect, one set of effect you want to apply, we don't repeat that anywhere, then better you can write inline. That means actually we have syntax like suppose we have a heading and for that we write a style. In that style, we write the attribute and colon value, semicolon, another attribute and colon value. Multiple attributes are separated with semicolon. These are called inline styles. We call them inline styles. So what is good and what is bad about this is they work for that element only. And we can't reuse them. We cannot reuse the styles. For example, let's see. Suppose we are having the travel app. So let's add one page. So I'm adding a new folder. Let me keep the folder as CSS examples. Okay. I will add a new file, some inline.html or home.html. Fine. Now here we will add a page and we are having heading, some HTML, CSS, and bootstrap, something like this. Now we want to apply some styles to this heading. Then what we will do is for this heading, we can write directly the style. We want color as red. We want font family as Arial, like this. Then it will apply the styles and define the styles like this. So if you want the same style for another element somewhere, then we have to write it again. So this is not good for reusability, but we don't use anywhere else. We just use for that element only. Then this is the best. That means if you are not writing the styles for reusability, means if you are thinking that these will be used only for this element and we don't reuse, then better write inline. There is nothing like which is best. That is a foolish question asked by any software engineer. Which one is best? If one is best, why others are given? Right? That means if one is best, then why others are given? To show this best. Huh? Right? That's silly thing. Everybody asks this generally in learning level, like which one is best? Which one is best? If one is best, you will not learn others. You will learn only the best. That decides your situation and requirement. That means all are used. All are used. But which one is required for that situation? How it affects the performance? That is where the developer's intelligence will come. That means developer have to correctly think for this inline is good or embedded is good. If he cannot think, that performance will affect. We will see that. I will show how performance will affect. That means when we don't want any set of styles to reuse, we don't write in separate style token. All these days where we were writing in a separate style tag and we are writing some effects and we are using them. That is slow when compared to inline. So which one is fast? Inline is fast. If you are writing any effect for an element and it will not repeat for others, then better write inline. That is the fast. That is the best. So that is inline styles. That is the advantage of inline style. So this is one example. In this example, I am writing a heading, some style, some color is red, and some font family as Arial, like this. We are defining some style, some text and close. This is one simple example of inline. So what is good about inline is fast. But what is the drawback is not good for reusability. That is the issue. We have another technique. We have embedded styles. Embedded styles. We have embedded styles. In this, actually, in embedded technique, the style object is defined in a style container. The style object is defined in a style container. It is defined in a style container. And what is the advantage of defining in a style container? So that it is good for reusability. It is good for reusability and separation. It is good for reusability and separation. One of the main concern is reusability and separation. Separation means design is separate, its effects are separate. Now in inline technique, what happens? In the design, the effects are present. In the design itself, the effects are added. that is not good separation, because later extensibility issues will come. If I have to extend by adding some more features, then it is difficult to extend in a design. That means it is not good for extensibility. So embedded is good. Embedded, embedded is good for extensibility. It is good for extensibility also. Reusability, separation, and extensibility. They are good with embedded technique. Now here, so many more questions are there. So many more points are there. That means generally, how do you write syntax? We put a style. After that, we put a selector and we put an object with an attribute and a value. We define attribute and value. This selector, which you will learn in later stage, next level you will learn about selectors. What are selectors? This selector indicates where to apply these styles. Where to apply the styles, that is decided by selector. Selector selects an element and applies effects for that element. That means a set of styles where to apply, that is decided by selector. Selector will decide. Now, the question here is, this is embedded technique. What is good about embedded technique is, it is easy to reuse, easy to extend, it is cleanly separated. But what is problem here is, it is slower than inline. It is slower than inline. It is not faster, it is slower than inline. So inline is fast, but it is good for reusability. Reusability good. For example, let's see here how to handle this. And one more important point now, I will tell you a concept here. We are removing this. Okay. And observe carefully. We are writing the style container. I will open this page, right click and inspect. In the inspect, go to network category. We have a network category. Okay, keep this network category on. Currently, we are in the network category. Keep that network category on. Okay, and go to HTML page and here write style. In the style, wherever heading 1 comes, that is the selector. It selects all heading 1. Later, you will see different types of selector. Apply some effects. We have to open bracket, close bracket. That is the block. Color is red. Text align. Text align is center. Border is 1 pixel solid red. Padding is 5 pixel. And I will save this. When I save this, you can see that it is applying those effects here. And it took 180 milliseconds to load. That means how many milliseconds to load these effects? It took 180 milliseconds to load. Okay, good. Now I will remove this. Fine. I will write inline. That means I will remove that and I will write inline. Style, color is red. Border is 1 pixel solid red. Text align is center and padding is 5. Same effects I written. And see, I am writing this style, repeating it for CSS, Bootstrap. I'm rewriting. I'm not able to reuse now because it is inline. I have to rewrite again and again. Okay. Now let's refresh this page and you can see 124 milliseconds. Even I return 3 times, it is faster when compared to what embedded. Embedded. So remember, you may be thinking like milliseconds only fast, what it is. Even 1 millisecond fast, we will implement that because 1 millisecond is too much in web technology. If a website is taking 1 second to load something, that is rubbish. That is throw in dustbin, that website. That means 1 second is too much late. 1 millisecond fractional difference also affects. So developers will not write for just achieving output. Developers write for performance. All the techniques main concentration is performance. If a website is not performing fast, then nobody will visit your website. Website is business. Nobody will not visit second time your website if it is not fast. That means the performance is the key role. We don't care about much visual effects. We care about perform. That's the reason it's very important to design according for the performance, not for just output. Because generally learners always concentrate on output. That means I written a code. What you will do? You will write that code and see same output is coming or not. If output comes, then you think that you achieved. But if that output is not performing fast, then it is not good for real time. We have to check that. That is important. That is the reason here the point is when you write embedded, this is slower when compared to inline. Inline. But what is good? It is easy to reuse. We don't need to rewrite everywhere. We can just reuse without rewriting. Separation, extensibility, everything will be easy. Suppose if I want to change color of heading, then every element inline I have to modify. If it is embedded, I have to just modify in the object. It will affect everywhere. That is the advantage. That is the concept of embedded. There is one more problem. One more problem is this embedded you cannot use in another page. This is only for this page. That means you cannot access embedded styles from another page. So embedded is only for the context of current page. That is only for the context of current page. You cannot use in another page. For example, in a website, you have 10 pages. In all pages, heading must be same. Then you cannot write in every page. You written in one page, it will work only for that page. It will not affect another page. Then in every page, you have to embed. In every page, you have to embed. That's important. Now, here, the question is, here, the frequently asked question here is, first one is, where to embed the style container? In head or in body? That is the first question asked in interviews. Where to embed the style container, in head or body? You can embed in both sections. In both sections. You can embed in head and you can embed in body. Both. You can write some styles in head, some styles in body. Then obviously the question is, what is difference between styles in head and styles in body? What is difference between styles in head and styles in body? What is the difference between head and body we discussed in the beginning of HTML? Tell me the key point. Saves round trip. That is the key point we discuss. That means if your styles are repeatedly used across number of requests in the page, then put it in head. If they are one time rendering, they don't regularly request, then better keep in body. We write both. That means in some styles we write in head, some styles we write in body. Both will work. I will tell you the priorities also. We will learn about the priority. That means you can embed in both location. But what is difference between them is styles in a head are used to save round trip. They are used to save round trip. What is round trip? Already I explained. What is round trip? When a user make request, the response will every time come from server. If request is very frequent for same information again and again, then we can cache and store in the buffer so that it will get it from the buffer instead of from the server. That is what saving the round trips, right? So styles in head save the round trip. So styles in body are for one time rendering, That depends how you use. If you think the styles will regularly requested, change it, then you can put in head section in body section. We can have in both sections, right? Later, I will tell you the rules of styles. Rules means if we keep in both head and body same, then what will happen? Such rules will learn later. For that, first you need to learn some more concept, right? So, for example, now I will use here. I am not writing this. Okay, clean up. And we are writing the styles here in head and body section. So we are writing style and we are having a heading. Color is red, text align center. Just roughly, I'm giving these two. And it is working for them. Suppose I removed from here and I kept, or I will keep them here and I will keep in the body another style. And here H1, and for that H1, I am defining border as 1 pixel solid red color. Now important is for same element, you return effects in both places, head and body. Which one will work? If same attributes are written, then latest will work. If different attributes are written, all will work. Same attribute means if I say color is green, now what is the color of heading? In head it is red and in body it is green. Then what is the color of heading? That means which one is latest? Head is first, body is later. That means body is latest. Then it will apply Which color? Green color. That means you can see that it is going to use that and it is going to display that. So it is going to use and display. 1 second. Okay. Okay. Right. Now here, now you see the output. It is going to display green. That means all will work. But if same attribute is defined, then it is going to apply this. So another question. If styles are defined for element in both head and body, then which set of attributes will apply? The answer is if different attributes are used, then all will apply. If same attribute is used, then the latest will apply. Latest will apply. What is latest? So that means it uses last in first out mechanism. The last effect where you mentioned, it is the first thing that comes out, that uses LIFO, last in first out mechanism. It uses that. If different attributes are there, all will work. If same attribute is there, the latest will work. And one more important point is actually, so when you are dealing with embedded styles, when you are writing these embedded styles, we can embed in head and body section, or we can embed in both. But what nobody will teach you and nobody will tell you is we can write styles outside HTML also. But no book will recommend this. No YouTube channel or websites will recommend this. Even official people also don't recommend this. But in some real world project, our experts people write this. That means they are not as per the rule, but our experienced experts have an habit of writing outside HTML. It is not recommended. But some projects, some people write outside HTML, which will work. That means you see here, suppose I am removing this. I'll just put a border as 1 pixel or 2 pixels solid red color like this. Padding as 5 pixel. And you can see these effects are working. Now what I will do is I will remove from the head section. I will remove from the head section. And I will keep it outside the head section. Means outside HTML, not in body also. Outside HTML, we are writing this. For example, you see, let's do one thing. First, go to the network category. And in the network category, let's keep in the head section. Let's save this in the head section. And you can see 216 milliseconds it taken to apply. 216 milliseconds. Okay. Now what our experts will do is they keep this outside HTML. Styles outside HTML are faster in rendering. More faster in rendering. You see 141 milliseconds. 216 milliseconds. Now 141 milliseconds. But nobody will recommend this and nobody will tell you this, that you can write outside HTML. Then why they are writing outside HTML? And why we don't recommend this? Because writing outside HTML is abnormal in behavior. That means in some situations they don't work properly. Only an expert architect who worked on several environments and aware of that technique, he knows for that project, for that situation, is it possible or not? Then he will implement it. But he will never recommend to anybody. That means you will see in lot of real-time projects, people write outside only. And you go and ask the senior person why you are writing outside. Then he will say it will perform little better. Then you ask him like, do you want me to write outside? Then he will say, no, you write how you learn and give it to me. I will decide where to keep it. Why? And if you ask like, tell me how it will perform better, you ask him, then he will say, after 10, 15 years, you will understand, go now. Even don't try to explain you because it is waste of time to explain because he can't explain. Because he can't explain you a situation. He can't explain you a situation. That means technically saying that, suppose you are playing a game, you prepared a plan, this is how I will play. And you go with that plan. Is it possible to play with that plan? That means in the game situations may change. Then you have to adapt to that situation. You cannot stick to your plan. That situation we don't know. That depends on that particular game. That situation may change. We don't even imagine what will be the situation. That is the reason this is never told to developers at learning level. That means we don't even tell this also. But just you remember this point. I'm not giving in note. Why? Because this is not official, but you will see it regularly. Then you will not be surprised that why they are writing outside. You know that it is possible. They can write because it will perform little better when compared to this. In outside, remember, outside also order is there. That means you written another style outside. Then which one is latest? Second one is latest. Outside also there is order. Outside also there is order. That means even your right side, there is a right outside, that is an order. It will apply only the latest will apply. The elements here, what are the elements? You see the elements. You can observe that this page is going to put inside body only. But I written outside body. But I written outside body. But this will take inside body only. Experts know that. Experts know that browser is going to put inside body only. But technically you keep inside body, it will perform fast. Outside body little better, but in every situation it will not. Sometimes it may fail. That is the reason we don't take chance. That is the reason we don't even recommend this to general people. That means in software development there are lot of techniques which are unexplainable, but developers use them. They can't explain you why. When they have to use, they can't explain, but they know when to use, where to use, because they know the situation of their application. That is important. That's the reason traditionally these are the two important things. You just remember about that. But when you see anything outside, that is not a surprise. Why? Because it is possible to write outside. That is important. Next important, when you are writing embedded, these are all about embedded concepts. Another important is, what is the media type for embedded styles? What is the media type for embedded styles? That is important. So what is the media type for embedded styles? That is very, very important. Media type is nothing but, for example, you are designing So this is another important is you are designing some. Let's copy this. Suppose I am creating some div. So I put a heading like ticket and I'm keeping some data list with data term departure. So Hyderabad. So destination some Delhi. So time some 10:30, some like 20 p.m. something like this. We are adding some content and we put a button print. So there is some logic thing like window dot print. It is used to print the page. I'm just writing a rough logic for this. Okay. Now in this somewhere some advertisements or some aside I am giving and I keep an image source. So public images and A1 JPG width 100, height 100. Like this, we are adding some content. Now the point is we have designed something like this and we will put a class ticket and we are writing the style. This style is having dot ticket and border as 1 pixel solid, some black padding as 5 pixel. And wherever data term is there, we keep as font weight bold and a data list as display grid and a grid template columns 6 fraction and or say 3 fraction and 9 fraction. And you can see it is displayed something like this. And we are having so many effects like background color is yellow. Let's apply some color for this. Now I want to print this ticket. I want to print this ticket. In a printout, I don't want advertisement buttons. So let's see how it looks in print preview. I will click the print button. Then it will open the printer settings. I written a logic for that. And you see the in printing, why print button to print? I don't want this. And I don't want advertisements to print. I want only ticket. So in printer settings, can you change the color printing to black and white? You can. Printer have that facility. That means in printer settings, you can choose color to black and white. That means I don't want colors. It's okay. You can control that in printer settings. Can you remove this button in printer settings? No, you cannot remove advertisements. That means how you see on screen and how you take a printout should not be same. That means the styles that you define, for generally the styles that you define for what? The styles that you define for any element, they are not same on different devices. On screen, it should okay, but on printout, I don't want them. Then how do you classify the styles for different devices? That is what media type is. That is media type. That means by default, the styles are for all media. There are three media options. One is media can be media can be media can be screen or print or speech. Media can be screen, print, or speech. Three things it can be. That means how it should display on screen, how it should be on print, and how it should be on speech. Speech means what? You know, your devices have narrators. Screen narrators are there, you know. That means they can read and allowed, they can uh, output on the speaker what the content is. They can read and announce the content. For example, you wear a headphone, some messages come, and do you know, so you are using some AirPods or something, you put a phone in pocket, message comes, it will read that message and announce. You just not need to even watch it. It will read and announce. That means you know that that is going to read and announce that message. But while reading, I don't want it to read everything. I want to read only main points. That means what it should be in speech, what it should be in print, that we can decide. That is how we can design the styles. So what we do is, when you write the style, you can put the media as screen. This is for screen. But what should happen when I go to printout? That means I will write another style. This style is media is what? If media is print. If media is print, then what should happen? If media is print, first thing I want dot ticket background color is none. That means we don't want any color. I don't want any background color. Okay. Next one. So I don't want button and aside. These two display should be none. I don't want them to display. You can even change the layout of the content. You don't want side by side. You want one below another. Then you can change from display grid to normal. That means now you see you are designing for two. That means you see now on screen is this. And when I take a printout on printer, it will be different. This time it is different. That means it is printing only this black and white and grid and everything not there, because for ticket class, what I applied, only background color none. And remember, I am not adding all these attributes, so they don't work. You want these attributes? Okay, you can write these attributes and only background color you can put it as none. That means in printout, what happens? It will not display and rest of content will be same. Content will be same. That means you can decide how the presentation should be in a printout, how the presentation should be on screen, and how it should be on speech. In speech, I don't want it to read ticket. Then what we will do, write another style, media is speech. There, this heading display as none. That means heading will not be there. It will read only departure, destination, and time. I don't want unnecessary things to read. That is the media type. That means when you write, what is media type? Actually, the concept of this is media type is used to define styles for various media devices which include three basic things. One is screen, another one is print, another one is speech. That means you can classify the styles for different devices. For screen, how it should be, for printer, how it should be, on speech, how it should be, you can classify that. That is another important point. Now, next example, I will give this here. First, I'll give a syntax here, how you write style media is equal to all, and we have screen, and we have print, and we have speech. Like this, we can define the style. We can configure the style and define the styles. Style can be defined for this. The screen, the print, and the speech. Example, I will copy this one. This is the example here. Okay. So you don't worry about the JavaScript. Without this also, you can press Control P, printer settings will open, then you can see the preview. I just written for printer button. This is the media type. Next important while working with embedded is what is the MIME type of styles? What is the MIME type of styles? What is the MIME type? Already MIME means I explained in image concept, multi-purpose internet mail extensions. I told you now, while we're learning about images, I told you MIME types, different MIME types will be there. Means browser can understand a content type using MIME type. That means whether when you write anything, how browser knows that actually this block is used by CSS will use it, JavaScript will use it, TypeScript will use it, SAS will use it. All languages use that block. Then how browser knows that this block is a style content? How browser knows that this is a style content? Because JavaScript also block, CSS also block, TypeScript also block, SAS also block. Then how engine knows that this is a style block? It is a style object, not a JavaScript object. How it knows? Actually, that is done by using. So what is the MIME type? So MIME is to define content type so that browser can understand the object type, the object type. So the style objects MIME type is text slash CSS. That is the MIME type. That means syntactically, whenever you write the style, you have to mention type as text CSS, and media, you can put it as all. That means everywhere it will be same. Or you can classify for printer, screen, anywhere. This is the tradition how we write the embedded styles. Now for experienced people in interview, they ask one question. So is it mandatory to define MIME type, MIME type for style sheet linked with link element, because some people write that. Generally, when people write, so this is no, it is not recommended because some people still write like that. For example, you are using a link relation is equal to what? Style sheet. Href is equal to some path, right? And after that, they have an habit of writing type is equal to text slash CSS. This is not good. This is not good. Don't do that. But some people have that habit of writing. We generally see people without proper knowledge writing like that, right? But this is not recommended. Why it is not recommended? Because rel is what? It is MIME type. It is already MIME type. Relation tells that it is style sheet, that means it is a CSS file. Then why you have to again mention it? That is not recommended. Many people use that. They write like that because they think that styles in style tag and link tag also styles are there. They have to mention the MIME type. That's the reason, according to the rules, this is not recommended. So we don't recommend to do that. We don't recommend to write this. That is important. So the styles. So here you can see the style sheet. So when you are dealing with the style sheet, suppose you see, I will I will show you a website like PMD. PMD. PMD is a code analysis tool. It's a code analyzing software. It is it is a software which checks whether your code is according to standards or not. Let's go to the documentation. And in that rule reference, HTML rules. We have HTML rules. And let's go to best practices. In the best practices, you see they have mentioned that. So they have mentioned this here. See, link type text CSS. Instead of doing this, they say just use this. Just use this. That means don't use this according to the rules of HTML. And remember, these rules are according to the people who built HTML, right? That means many people have this habit. That is the reason they mentioned about it. Why they have to mention this? Because some people have their own invention. That means they think that everything you can write, right? Some people write their own invention shortcuts, which will mess up the performance. That's the reason we don't want anybody to implement such techniques which are not good for performance of an application, which people usually do it. That's the reason many applications fail in real time. Many applications fail in real time. We have to change the technologies sometimes. Do you know now it is better? Now it is better, but during early days of web development, lot of huge level projects we failed, and we have to change the technology for them. We failed and we have to change the technology for them. Actually, so many such failures are there. Complete technology is changed. Complete technology is changed. Means in real world experience, so many such things are there. So many such things are there. I will tell a just basic point why the applications fail if performance is not good. I'll just tell one point. Actually, I will tell a small my experience. In 2008, actually, in 2008, Supreme Court of India, Government of India have developed have launched a scheme of laptops for judges all over India. For judges, they planned laptops in 2008 and 9. During those years, they planned laptop for judges. That means their intention is give laptops to judges so that court related case and everything they can watch in laptops. They can enter the case number and the details of case will come. Everything will be on laptop. And actually, at that time, I was working for HP, Helvet Packet. My job was train the trainers. My role was to train trainers. Trainers will train the people. That is my job. My job is to train trainers. Trainers will train the developers. That is the job. I was working on .NET technology. I was on .NET technology. And actually, for judges in Supreme Court, High Court, and Supreme Court judges, for them, we have to train a software called eCourts. eCourts is a software designed for judges, and we have to train this software to all the judges. Actually, that software was designed by Wipro, and contract of training is given to HP. Wipro developed that software and we have to train that. And actually Fedora actually later I will tell you. So actually laptop was given with Windows. Windows laptops were given. And that complete technology was .NET. In .NET, they developed that eCode software. In .NET, they designed it. And they given the training requirements to us. In Delhi, I was there for 1 week. I was involved in training High Court and Supreme Court judges. My job was to train them. That means first 4 or 5 days, they given us training on court proceedings. I was in Supreme Court of India, sitting beside the judges and watching their proceedings, how they do the activities. Right? We were trained on their job, how they do all the process for 4 days. After that, during their free hours, we have to go to those judges and tell them how to use this software. We have to train them. What happened is we started training, and my job was in northern area, and other team was in south and other areas. In all court judges, they were training. Other teams were training, and we started training. Do you know what happened is after 2 3 days of training, we have to stop the training. We have to stop the training because the judges people time is so precious, very precious, so precious that just 1 2 minutes time is also very precious for them. Do you know, in 1 2 minutes they hear a case and they will simply say that after 1 year come. Just 1 2 minutes only they hear the case, sometimes means some cases, and they say that next year this time come go. That's it. And what happened is we started training on that software. They open that website e-courts and they enter case number and hit loading, 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 loading. It is not loading. 5 minutes already completed. It's not loading. Do you know what they have asked first? They said that, Sharmaji, we don't want these dabbas to us. Dabbas means laptops. We don't want these dabbas. Tell your company that take them back. We don't want this software. They are wasting our time. Then we have to tell our superior team that this is the complaint from the judges. Then do you know what they have done? They stopped the training. And after 1 month, again training started. Now, after 1 month, what happened is this .NET technologies was very heavy at that time. At that time, now it is very lightweight. It is very faster. Now it is one of the most trending lightweight, right? It is very heavy at that time. Then what we have to do is we have to convert this .NET application into a PHP application, which is little lightweight. We converted. That means application totally failed. And we have to convert that into HP. And it is not our job. We have to tell the Wipro people that this is not happening. Then they have to convert that into HP. And after that, they have to change the laptops with Fedora. Fedora is Linux. They have to change with Fedora Linux, not with Windows. With the Windows, again, virus problems and all these are coming. And they are not interested in that. They want fast loading. They want lightweight. They want fast performance. Then after 1 month, again, training started with complete change in the software. Technology changed. And in 1 week, we finished the training. Training successfully completed. And after training completed to Government of India, these judges have written officially, they have written that we will keep your laptops, we will keep your software, but we will not use it. Now in their judges location, currently their laptops are there. E-code software is still running. It is still running now. Also it is running, but they use it in free time. They don't use in code time. It's because still they are not satisfied. They are not interested at all. They say that we don't want laptops. Our paper is better. We don't want your laptops. Internet disconnected, Wi-Fi hotspot required. I don't know anything about it. I don't want it. That's what judge says. He says that I don't even know how to connect to Wi-Fi. I don't use proper mobile also. I don't know how to connect to Wi-Fi. Then how I can manage this? I don't want. I will use it at my home, in my chamber. I will not use in court timing. That means these people even don't know how to launch a Zoom meeting. An assistant will come and open and they are Supreme Court judges, very highly professional. But they don't want your technology. They're not interested in your technology because your technology often fails. And their time is very valuable. That means 1 minute, 5 minutes time is very valuable. We have seen for 4 or 5 days how the court hearings happens there. And we have seen the real reality that how it happens. It's not like you watch in movies, right? It is just a fraction of few minutes. Court means hearing is completed, and they will say that okay, next. Until or unless it is a huge case, it will take lot of communication. Otherwise, it is very simple. That means the why I explained all this, because web applications main drawback is performance. If a technology is not performing well, then nobody will use your websites. That is the reason so many methods are there. We have to implement the best, fastest way. And that depends on the situation and requirement. That means even today they are using that software, but still they are not really implementing in code area. They are still using in other places. Because now I have so many of my judge friends. And when I go there, so when I talk to them in their chambers, they are still using that software. They are using that software, but they are not really implementing in real time. They don't want. That is the point about performance of web application. This is very, very important to understand. Several technologies in the early of web failed because of speed, performance. We have to change complete technology. It changed from .NET to PHP, and it changed from Windows to Linux, and redesigned the complete software and released it. That is one important about performance. You need to know about that. This is basically how it works. That means how the concept of styles work. So I hope you are clear. That means why we have to follow the standards. What is the point about the standard? This is type text CSS. Then what is the drawback of this? I already told you. What is the drawback? We cannot use across pages. Then how we can use across pages? There is another technique. What is it? What is another technique? External style sheets. External style sheets. What is this technique? In this technique, styles are defined. Styles are defined in this technique. Styles are defined in a separate style sheet that have extension dot CSS, that have the extension dot CSS, so that you can reuse across pages, so that you can reuse across pages. But here again a problem is there. If you want to use styles across pages, then you can maintain in a style sheet. But what is the problem here is, the problem is using an external style sheet will increase the number of requests to page, will increase the number of requests to page, and also load time. That is the reason unnecessarily we should not use an external style sheet. That means if you use a separate external style sheet with a HTML page, now totally two requests will happen. One request for HTML, another request for CSS. In web development, if number of requests increase, page load time also increase. So unnecessarily we cannot put a external style sheet. It is okay when you are dealing with some styles which are needed across pages. But if it is not required across pages, better use embedded or better use inline. But don't use external style sheet every time. Nobody can say that external style sheet is best. Why? Because the main drawback with external style sheet is performance. If you add more style sheets, then more requests will increase. If requests increase, page load time will increase. That is the problem. How to use this external style sheet? Simple. What you do now here, let's delete everything here. Okay, I am removing this and I am just keeping one concept like I will remove these styles and delete the style token. And where to write the styles? Styles we are writing in a separate style sheet. Suppose I will go to SRC. In SRC, we created styles folder. In that folder, we will add a file called ticket, ticket.css. And in that, we will put the code. Here, you don't need any token. Here, you don't need any tag. You have to just write what are the styles you want to apply, to whom you want to apply. Okay, these styles are kept in SRC folder because we learned dynamic files are kept in which folder? SRC. In that we kept a styles in the ticket.css. Okay, now I need to use them here. Then how to link a style sheet already you learned. How to link a style sheet you already learned. Suppose I will inspect, I will go to the network category and how to link a style sheet. We already learned how to link a style sheet. Link relation is equal to what? Style sheet, style sheet. And href is what? It is in dot dot slash src slash styles slash ticket dot css. Now I will link the style sheet to this. Then automatically you can see that here it will give you this. But observe carefully, you can see that here 4 requests happened. 4 requests happened. One request is for what? Home. Another request is what? Ticket. Another request for image. And this is actually web server, the web socket actually. That is used, that is browser related. Our page related 3. This is extra request. If number of requests are increasing, then page time will be increasing. That's not a good idea. That is the reason we cannot recommend to use this every time. We cannot use this to recommend every time. You see, it is loading with different timings. That means you can see here it is showing 22 milliseconds or like that. But if you write inline, it will be faster. Embedded little better. External always have a risk. Why external always have a risk? Because it cannot fastly render. It will take time. It will take time to render. That is very important. So this is the concept of external style sheet. Then the point here is why it is called CSS. CSS refers to, so cascading, cascading style sheet. What is cascading means? It refers to cascading style sheet. What is cascading means? Cascading is a type of arrangement. Cascading is a type of arrangement. For example, I given a playing cards to you. Suppose I given some 13 playing cards to you, playing cards. And I asked you, what are the cards you are having? Then how you will watch all these 13 cards? Then do you know what you do? You hold in one hand and you will cascade them. You know, cascade. That means how the cascade will be. Cascade will be first card, second card, am I right? Third card. This is what kind of arrangement? Cascading arrangement. What is advantage of this type of arrangement? Without going to back, we can see what is behind. Am I right? That means from one view, we can see all. That is the nature of cascading. What is the meaning of cascading style sheet is actually, cascading style sheet is nothing but, generally what happens is you write the styles. That means you write the styles. So we have a style sheet and this is having some styles. Now what happens is you design some pages. That means you created a page. So this is something like a home page. So suppose we say this is a home page. Home page. Like that, we have another page. So something like this is some about page or contact page. That means some other page, contact page, something like this. Now, important here is what is the concept is this is the style sheet we are having. This is the style sheet we are having. And what is the point about this is this home page can cascade over this style sheet. That means the styles are behind, but the styles are used by the foreground. They are behind, but they are working for the foreground. Now, any page can go over and cascade over it. Any page can go over and cascade over it. That means they are in the background, but they are visible to the foreground. They are not in that page. They are behind, but they are visible. This is cascading. Cascade is a type of arrangement. That is the speciality of this arrangement. You can keep in the background and make it visible to the foreground. That's the nature of cascading style sheets. So that is how we can configure the styles. This is an example. First, what we do, src in that what? Styles in that file. What is it? Ticket.css. And we will copy that ticket.css. Copy that ticket.css. And in home.html, we will link it. I am giving the code of both of them, right? That is the two files. We have the CSS and all. So maintaining styles in a separate style sheet is good. We can reuse across pages. We can easily extend. It is having a clean separation. If you modify in the style sheet, it will affect everywhere. But what is drawback? Always using an external file will increase the number of requests and the page load time. So which one is best? Again, you have seen idea, na? Which one is best? That depends on the situation and the requirement. There is nothing like this is best. Actually, in one page, we use all three techniques also. Those rules also I will explain. That means in one page, some styles we write inline, some we write embedded, some we bring from external, because already you are doing from where you are getting bootstrap icons from a separate style sheet. Then you are writing embedded also. Along with that, you can write embedded, you can write external, and you can write inline. All three can be in one place. But again, there are rules which one have priority and all. We will discuss. So about external style sheets, some more concepts are there that we will see in tomorrow's session. Tomorrow we will continue. Okay. All these days you used styles without knowing all this. That means now you will get clarity, more clarity on what is styles, how to use them, how to write them, when, which one to use. All this you will get a clarity. Then it becomes easy to implement also. That we are going to see detailedly. Tomorrow we will continue, right? Yeah.